The unseen battle. Earning your respect, let me ask you something. And I want you to answer it honestly, right now. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and genuinely respected the person staring back at you? Not because of what you have, the car, the impressive title, the bank account, but because of who you've become. Because of what you've quietly endured. What you've painstakingly built when absolutely no one was watching. You see, we live in a world obsessed with results. We chase the flashy outcomes. But what the world rarely sees is the relentless grind behind the glory. It doesn't see the private war you fight every single day. The silent mental battles, the gnawing self-doubt, those moments when every fiber of your being screams at you to quit. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people instinctively run from. There is no version of true success, undeniable strength, or profound freedom that doesn't demand daily, consistent work. There are no shortcuts. There are no magical hacks. There is only the process, the non-negotiables you must show up for every single day, without fail. So, this isn't about fleeting hype. This isn't about a surge of motivation that vanishes in 10 minutes. This is about 10 core things you must work on daily if you want to genuinely earn your peace, truly own your power, and build the kind of life that absolutely doesn't fall apart when life inevitably punches you squarely in the face. Some of these suggestions will challenge your comfort zones. Some might even frustrate you. And that's precisely the point, because comfort never, ever made anyone unstoppable. So, if you're ready, if you're truly done making excuses, done living on autopilot, and ready to step into the version of yourself who doesn't just break under pressure, but becomes pressure, then let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. 1. The power of discipline. Your highest self-respect. Discipline is not some cruel punishment. It's not a burdensome chore. It is, in fact, the highest form of self-respect. When you choose discipline, you are consciously choosing to honor your future self over your fleeting feelings in the moment. You are powerfully saying, I matter enough to keep my word to myself. And if you're not doing that every single day, then you are subtly training yourself to break promises, not to other people, but to you. That, my friend, is a dangerous, insidious habit. People constantly ask, how do I become more confident? Start with discipline, because real confidence doesn't magically appear from a motivational quote or a new outfit. It's forged in the quiet, consistent act of doing the things you said you would do, over and over again, until it becomes your very identity. Confidence is built patiently, in the dark hours, when nobody is watching, and you still choose to show up. That's where it's truly earned. The reason so many people feel adrift and lost is because they treat discipline like it's optional. They do it when it's convenient, when it feels good. But that's not discipline at all. That's mere preference. That's impulsive behavior. Discipline is showing up and doing the work, especially when it doesn't feel good. It's waking up when the bed is warm and inviting. It's putting in those reps when you're utterly exhausted. It's saying a firm no to things that numb you, even when they offer easy escapes. Every single day, you have two fundamental choices. Let your feelings lead, or let your principles lead. If your feelings are in charge, they'll inevitably pull you into distraction, laziness, excuses, and comfortable stagnation. But principles, fueled by discipline, will steadfastly carry you through resistance, fatigue, fear, and even failure. Let me be brutally honest with you. Life doesn't care how you feel. Your dreams don't care if you're tired. The world won't hand you results simply because you wish for them. It hands them, without prejudice, to the person who keeps showing up, no matter what. So, if you think discipline is hard, try living with the soul, crushing regret of knowing you gave up on yourself. That pain is far, far harder. You don't need to completely overhaul your whole life in a single day. But you absolutely need to start showing up for yourself today. Discipline is a practice. It's a skill that gets stronger with use. You cannot wait for motivation to magically arrive. Motivation is a spark. It burns out quickly. Discipline is the engine. You build it brick by relentless brick. So, ask yourself, what one thing will I commit to today, no matter what? Not 5 things, not 10, just one. One single thing that, if you repeated it every single day, would fundamentally change your life. Maybe it's waking up at a specific time and refusing to hit snooze. Maybe it's hitting the gym, even if it's just for 20 minutes. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book that sharpens your mind. Perhaps it's writing, meditating, taking a cold shower, or simply walking. It truly doesn't matter what it is, as long as you commit to doing it every single day. Why? Because consistency compounds. Discipline stacks. Every time you show up for that one thing, you're casting a powerful vote for the person you want to become. And no, you won't always feel like doing it. In fact, fully expect resistance. Resistance isn't a sign to stop. It's a clear sign you're on the right path, pushing against your old self. You're not just training your body or your schedule. You're profoundly training your mind. You're developing grit, endurance, and mental stamina. And once you truly realize that you can command yourself to act, not your emotions, not your excuses, you become truly dangerous. You become absolutely unshakable. But here's the critical key. Discipline isn't just about doing hard things. It's about doing the right things. It's not about busy work. It's about focused work. It's about being deeply intentional with how you spend your time, who you give your precious energy to, and what habits you consciously reinforce. Because every single action you take is a vote, and those votes relentlessly add up. So ask yourself, honestly, Am I voting for the life I claim I want? Or am I voting for my comfortable, familiar comfort zone? Well, let me tell you something most people truly don't want to hear. No one is coming to save you. There's no perfect moment, no magic formula, no guru or mentor who will suddenly make it all easy. It's just you and your unwavering willingness to do the work every day, without applause, without external validation, without seeking shortcuts. But here's the profound beauty in that. Once you stop negotiating with yourself, once you stop quitting on yourself, you realize something incredibly powerful. You no longer need motivation, because now you have momentum. And momentum, that's where true transformation lives. You can't control the external chaos around you, but you can absolutely control the rituals, the structure, and the unwavering standards you choose to live by. That's your power. That's your undeniable edge. When everything around you feels uncertain, discipline gives you absolute certainty in yourself. So, build the routine, set the standard, keep the promise to yourself, not because it's easy, but because you are worth it, because your goals are worth it, because your future deserves a version of you that doesn't fold when life gets heavy and challenging. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. So, rise, and don't you dare look back. 2. The architecture of reality. Your words and self. Your words are not merely sounds you make with your mouth. They are powerful commands. They are intricate codes. They are the very architecture of your reality. Every single time you speak, especially to yourself, you are actively shaping the world you live in. Not the world outside, but the far more important one inside your head. And that inner world determines everything about your outer experience. The way you think, the way you act, the way you fight, the way you quit, the way you show up, all of it originates with language. That's precisely why you have to be absolutely ruthless and intentional with your words every single day. Most people are walking around mindlessly repeating stories they never actually chose. Stories someone else gave them. A parent, a coach, a teacher, a bully, or even just a single moment of failure. And they repeat these narratives like sacred gospel. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. I'm not smart. I'm not meant for this. And they don't realize that every time they utter those words, even if only silently inside their own head, they are powerfully reinforcing a narrative that keeps them small, that keeps them safe, that keeps them invisible. And here's the scientific truth. Your brain doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. It only understands repetition. Say it enough times, and your mind will believe it. Leave it enough times, and it profoundly becomes your identity. You simply cannot build an unshakable life with shaky language. You cannot speak weakness and realistically expect strength to emerge. You cannot constantly talk about all the things that could go wrong, and then expect to magically feel courage. Words matter. They are the critical first domino. You don't need to be perfect with your language, but you need to be incredibly aware. Because every single word you choose is either powerfully reinforcing your innate power or subtly robbing you of it. How do you speak to yourself when absolutely no one else is around? That's the real, unfiltered test. When you look in the mirror, do you build yourself up with encouraging words? Or do you relentlessly break yourself down with criticism? Because if you're constantly criticizing yourself, judging yourself, doubting yourself, you're not being humble. You're being profoundly destructive. You're planting poison in your own fertile soil, and then somehow expecting something beautiful to miraculously grow. That's not humility. That's self-sabotage. And it's not just the obvious negative words you need to watch out for. It's the subtle ones, the throwaway lines, the casual self-deprecation. I'm so stupid. I'll never figure this out. I'm just not that kind of person. These sound harmless, but they are far from it. Your mind is listening every single time, and it's meticulously taking notes. You might laugh when you say it, but your brain doesn't. It takes you literally. And what you reinforce, you repeat. What you repeat, you believe. What you believe, you become. So, start paying attention. Audit your language like your life depends on it, because it absolutely does. Start replacing those disempowering statements, not with fake affirmations or delusional positivity, but with genuine strength, with authentic truth, and with clear direction. Instead of "I can't," try "I'm figuring it out." Instead of "I'm not good enough," say "I'm still growing into this." Instead of "I'm always messing up," say "I've made mistakes, but I'm learning valuable lessons from them." That seemingly small shift in language is everything. It transforms you from a powerless victim of your story into the empowered author of it. Language isn't just about what you say out loud. It's also about what you allow in. Be incredibly careful who you listen to. Be careful what voices you permit to echo in your head. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain, who gossip, who speak defeat into every single opportunity, that becomes your subconscious soundtrack. You will inevitably absorb that negative energy, that gnawing doubt, that pervasive fear, and you'll inevitably start to speak it too. So, fiercely protect your mental space. Curate your inputs. Listen only to people who speak to your potential, not your perceived limitations. Speak to yourself like someone you are personally responsible for protecting and nurturing. Every single day, you have the profound opportunity to rewire the way you speak to yourself. And when you do that, you fundamentally rewire the way you think. Your words become your focused intention. Your focus becomes your deliberate action. And your action, inevitably, becomes your tangible results. But it all starts with a firm, conscious decision. I will no longer use language that makes me small. I will no longer tolerate speech, internal or external, that robs me of my agency. I will speak power. I will speak purpose. I will speak with clear intent. And I will live like someone who genuinely means what they say. You don't need to fake positivity or put on a show. You need to be real, but strong. You can say, "This is incredibly hard, and I've got this." You can honestly admit, "I'm scared, and I'm doing it anyway." That's not lying to yourself. That's powerful leadership. That's training your mind to hold both raw truth and undeniable power in the very same breath. That's what true warriors do. They don't lie to themselves, but they absolutely refuse to speak defeat. They choose words that ignite the fire within, not words that extinguish the spark. So, tomorrow, when you wake up, pay meticulous attention to the very first thing you say to yourself, because that's precisely where the day begins. That's where your momentum is either painstakingly built or carelessly broken. Say something real. Say something powerful. Say something that powerfully pulls you forward. And then live like you unequivocally believe it. Because if you want to truly change your life, you must change your words. And don't just whisper them. Say it loud. Say it with your chest. Say it like it's already true. Because the moment you do, it starts relentlessly becoming real. 3. Mastering your inner landscape. Emotional control. Emotional control is not about suppressing how you truly feel. It's about profoundly mastering how you respond. It's about staying steady and grounded when everything around you spirals into chaos. When pressure mounts, when people inevitably disappoint you, when fear boldly shows up and knocks at your door, emotional control is what fundamentally determines whether you rise above or whether you sadly unravel. Every single day, you're going to face triggers. People will say things that accidentally hit old wounds. Situations will arise that simply don't go your way. Deadlines, frustrating delays, failures, betrayal, judgment. Life will relentlessly test you. And in those crucial moments, it's not your intelligence or your raw talent that matters most. It's your undeniable ability to pause, breathe, and consciously choose your reaction. Most people are pure reactors. Something happens, and they immediately explode. Someone makes them feel disrespected, and they lash out. They hear something they don't like, and they instantly shut down. That's not power. That's extreme vulnerability. Because if the external world can control your emotions, it controls you. Emotional control is about diligently building that inner buffer, that crucial space between what happens externally and how you choose to respond internally. That sacred space is where your power lives. It's where your personal growth truly lives. It's where you boldly decide who you are, no matter what chaos is erupting around you. The common mistake people make is thinking emotions are inherently bad. They're not. Emotions are powerful information. Anger, sadness, fear, jealousy, they are all messages, vital signals. They are desperately trying to tell you something profound about what you truly care about, what you secretly fear, what you deeply value. But if you react blindly to every fleeting emotion, you completely miss the message. You stay endlessly stuck in the same destructive cycle. The goal isn't to shut off your emotions. The goal is to become the insightful translator of them, not the unconscious puppet. Let me make this crystal clear. Emotional control doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you've rigorously trained yourself not to be ruled by the feeling. You can be scared and still bravely move forward. You can be angry and still respond with grace and composure. You can be heartbroken and still show up for what matters. Emotional control is, in essence, emotional discipline. Just like you train your physical body, you train your emotions. And the absolute best time to do it is every single day. You train emotional control in the small, seemingly insignificant moments, not just the monumental ones. When the barista gets your coffee order wrong and you're tired. When someone rudely cuts you off in traffic. When you receive that text message you absolutely didn't want. These are your daily reps. These are your precious opportunities, not to pretend you're okay, but to breathe, to assess the situation calmly, and to respond in a way that profoundly aligns with who you're consciously becoming. Because every emotional reaction is, at its core, a choice. You might not choose the initial feeling, but you always choose the response. The world will constantly try to provoke you. People will relentlessly test your limits. And when you explode, they win. When you let someone else dictate your state of mind, you are actively giving away your power. So, every day, ask yourself, who's really in charge here? My emotions, or me? Emotional control is especially critical in high-stakes environments, in conflict, in leadership roles, in all your relationships. Because, if you can't stay calm, you simply cannot lead effectively. You can't think clearly. You can't communicate effectively. Anger clouds judgment. Panic blinds clarity. Fear shuts down your vital ability to listen. That's why emotional control is the fundamental foundation of trust. Trust with yourself. And trust with others. If people know you're consistent, grounded, and thoughtful, they will inherently trust you. But if your mood swings dictate your choices, they won't follow you. And even worse, you won't trust yourself. This is precisely why emotional control must be practiced before the moment of crisis hits. In the morning, take time to profoundly ground yourself with breath work, journaling, silence, or whatever anchors your spirit. Build your self-awareness so that when a strong emotion inevitably shows up, you can calmly name it. Naming the emotion helps you separate yourself from it. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," try saying, I'm feeling anger. That one subtle shift reminds your brain that you are not your feelings. You are the observer of them. And the observer always has control. The more self-aware you become, the faster you catch yourself. That sarcastic tone, that sharp, reactive response, that sudden withdrawal, you start to notice your own predictable patterns. And you get to consciously choose something different. You start to notice when you're triggered. And instead of reacting instinctively, you pause and ask, what's really going on here, beneath the surface? That kind of deep, emotional intelligence changes everything. It transforms conflict into genuine connection. It turns frustration into valuable growth. It transforms fear into powerful fuel. There's also a pervasive myth that emotionally controlled people are cold or disconnected. That is fundamentally false. Emotional mastery actually allows you to feel more, not less, because you're not overwhelmed or drowned by the feeling. You're clear. You're present. You're fully capable of true compassion, because you're not drowning in your own reactive emotions. You can hold space for others because you've learned to hold space for yourself. That is not weakness. That is an elite level of strength. And the truth is, life is going to relentlessly test you. You will face pain, loss, betrayal, setbacks. You will feel things that shake you to your core. But when you've trained for emotional control, you don't break. You bend, you adapt, you endure, and eventually you powerfully rise. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger, more centered, more profoundly self-led. So, every single day, do the work. Reflect on what triggered you. Study how you reacted. Ask yourself if that reaction truly served you. Learn the patterns. Practice the pause. And most of all, remember this: your power is not in what you feel. It's in what you do with the feeling. Your ability to lead, to love, and to live life entirely on your own terms depends on this one crucial thing. Master your emotions, or they will relentlessly master you every single day. The choice is always, unequivocally, yours. 4. Your physical foundation. The unbreakable body, your body, is not just a mere vessel. It's your impenetrable armor. It's your unwavering foundation. It's the powerful engine that carries you through every single aspect of life, from profound crisis to exhilarating celebration. And if you're not training it every single day with clear purpose, you are tragically leaving immense power on the table. Purposeful physical conditioning is not about mere aesthetics. It's not about looking good for other people or chasing vanity. It's about becoming strong enough mentally, emotionally, and physically to handle whatever life relentlessly throws at you. Because when your body is weak, it subtly leaks into everything else. Your mindset, your focus, your resilience. You simply cannot build a powerful life on a fragile frame. Most people train sporadically, without real intent. They work out when it's convenient, when they feel motivated, when their schedule miraculously clears up. That's not training. That's merely reacting. That's putting your fundamental health on the back burner and foolishly pretending like it doesn't deeply affect your overall performance in every area of your life. But the undeniable truth is, how you move your body fundamentally determines how you move through life itself. Discipline in the gym creates discipline in your decisions. Endurance on the pavement builds endurance under pressure. Strength gained under physical weight translates directly into profound strength under mental and emotional stress. Your training is either actively preparing you for life, or it's just mindlessly passing time. Purposeful physical conditioning means you train for something far bigger than just the mirror. You train for mental clarity, for emotional resilience, for unwavering control. You train to become the kind of person who doesn't fold when things get heavy, because you've already carried the weight before. You've already run that extra mile when you absolutely didn't want to. You've already pushed through debilitating fatigue when your mind screamed for you to stop. And every single time you do that, you are powerfully proving to yourself that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought possible. There's a direct, undeniable link between physical conditioning and emotional grit. When you push your body to the edge and refuse to quit, something incredible rewires in your brain. You become calmer amidst chaos, more stable in uncertainty, more profoundly confident in adversity. Why? Because you've chosen to suffer on your own terms. You've consciously chosen discomfort. You've painstakingly built pain tolerance, not through unexpected crisis, but through daily, intentional practice. That fundamentally changes how you approach everything. Suddenly, a heated argument doesn't shake you to your core. A significant setback doesn't crush your spirit. A daunting challenge doesn't intimidate you, because you've already built yourself, brick by painful brick, from the ground up. Training with purpose also means training with deep awareness. Not just blindly lifting heavy, not just mindlessly burning calories, but truly listening to your body, honoring your limits while still relentlessly pushing them, resting when needed, not out of laziness, but out of profound respect for your vessel. Fueling your body like it truly matters, because it absolutely does. Every bite you take, every rep you perform, every single step you walk is crucial data. It's feedback. It's a continuous conversation between you and the only machine you truly own. And when you stop treating your body like an afterthought, it starts showing up for you in ways you never even imagined possible. There's also a powerful mental component to this work that many people completely overlook. When you condition yourself physically, you remarkably quiet the mental noise. You significantly reduce anxiety. You sharpen your focus. You regulate your emotions more effectively. Movement becomes a form of medicine. Sweat becomes a profound therapy. And those dedicated workouts become sacred time, where the outside world shuts up, and you get to powerfully reconnect with your own innate strength. That's precisely why it has to be non-negotiable. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. When you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're utterly unmotivated, because those are the days when conditioning matters most. Those are the days when you unequivocally prove it's not a mere hobby. It's a fundamental lifestyle. Purposeful physical conditioning also critically helps you face fear head on. When you train with intensity sprinting, boxing, lifting heavy, climbing, and your heart is racing, your lungs are burning, and your body is screaming for you to stop. That's fear in a controlled environment. And if you can meet it head on in your workout, you are far better equipped to meet it head on in real life. In the boardroom, on the battlefield of life, within your relationships. Wherever fear shows up, your rigorous training has already introduced you to it. So, you don't flinch. You breathe. You reset. You move forward. It's also crucial to recognize that your physical state directly impacts your presence. If you walk into a room slouched, looking exhausted, and seemingly out of breath, people feel that energy, and worse, you feel that energy. But if you enter strong, centered, and radiating an alive energy that emanates from the inside out, that's a powerful force multiplier. That fundamentally changes the way people engage with you. That profoundly changes the way you see yourself. It's not arrogance. It's deep alignment. When your body and mind are operating seamlessly together, you become magnetic, powerful, and incredibly effective. You become a leader, not just in title, but in your undeniable energy. So, if you've been coasting, it's time to fully recommit. If you've been showing up halfway, it's time to go all in. Not for vanity, not for social media likes, but because your mission demands a body that is ready for the fight. Your family, your career, your deepest goals, they all need you at your absolute strongest. Not just someday in the distant future, but now. Because you don't rise to the level of your ambition. You fall to the level of your conditioning. Train daily. Train with unwavering purpose. Make it sacred. Make it non-negotiable. And remember this: a strong body builds a strong mind, and a strong mind changes absolutely everything. You don't just get what you want. You get what you train for. 5. Relentless growth and unwavering integrity. Growth isn't something you simply stumble into by chance. It's something you relentlessly chase every single day, with unyielding grit, with insatiable hunger, and with pinpoint intention. Because the brutal truth is, if you're not actively growing, you're inevitably shrinking. There is no neutral state. Life doesn't pause politely, so you can finally get your act together. The world keeps moving. Challenges keep coming. And you either evolve, or you get left behind. But growth on its own isn't quite enough. it has to be powerfully paired with something far deeper. Integrity. The kind of integrity that keeps you deeply grounded, even as you're leveling up. The kind of integrity that ensures who you're becoming still profoundly honors who you authentically are at your core. Because if you grow immensely in skill, but in the process lose your character, you haven't truly grown. You've simply drifted off course. Relentless pursuit of growth means adamantly refusing to settle. It means waking up every single day and genuinely asking yourself, where can I be better today? Not because you're broken or insufficient, but because you are deeply committed. Because you instinctively know there's always another level to unlock in your mindset, your craft, your discipline, your leadership. It's about being brutally honest with yourself. You look in the mirror, and instead of avoiding your perceived flaws, you courageously confront them. You get genuinely curious about them. And then you strategically go to work. Because growth doesn't happen by accident. It's built in discomfort. It's earned through relentless repetition. And it demands unwavering consistency long after the initial motivation wears off. But here's where most people get it wrong. They chase growth fiercely in one isolated area, while completely ignoring the rest. They diligently build their business empire, but let their physical health utterly collapse. They develop their mind with fervor, but neglect their vital relationships. That's not mastery. That's dangerous imbalance. And imbalance, eventually, inevitably breaks you. Growth must be holistic. You don't just upgrade your outer world. You fundamentally upgrade your inner world too. The way you think, the way you treat people, the way you show up when absolutely nobody is watching. Because real growth isn't just about what you accomplish. It's about who you become in the entire process. And that's precisely where integrity comes in. Integrity isn't just about being honest. It's about being deeply aligned. It means your actions consistently match your stated values. It means doing the right thing, even when it's inconvenient. Even when it costs you something significant. Especially when no one will ever find out. Because integrity isn't about optics or appearances. It's about true ownership. You don't cut corners. You don't lie to win. You don't sell out for cheap applause or fleeting recognition. You lead yourself first. And when you mess up, because you absolutely will, you own it completely. You don't blame others. You don't hide. You don't pretend. You take full responsibility. That's integrity. That's what painstakingly builds unbreakable trust with others. And, most importantly, with yourself. If you're pursuing growth without a foundation of integrity, what you're truly doing is building a flimsy facade. It might look impressive from the outside, but it's hollow at its core. And eventually, it collapses under pressure. The pressure catches up. The cracks widen. Because when your growth outpaces your character, you become dangerous to yourself and to others. But when your character leads your growth, you become truly unstoppable, grounded, deeply respected, and absolutely unshakable. Relentless growth also means being consistently willing to be uncomfortable, because comfort is the insidious enemy of progress. You have to be willing to be a beginner again and again and again. You have to be completely okay with looking foolish while you're learning, with failing openly in public, with not having all the answers at your fingertips. That's precisely how you stretch. That's how you expand your capabilities. People who stop growing are usually the ones who are terribly afraid to be seen trying. They want to project an image of having it all perfectly together. But growth isn't clean. It's messy. It's awkward. It's profoundly humbling. But it's also the only way forward. You also have to be relentless in seeking feedback, not just praise, but genuine, constructive feedback. You need people in your corner who will tell you the unvarnished truth, not just what you want to hear. Coaches, mentors, teammates, trusted friends, people who will call you out when you drift off course, who will challenge you when you get lazy or complacent. That kind of accountability is rare and often uncomfortable. But it is utterly priceless, because you simply cannot see your own blind spots. You can't truly grow in isolation. Growth requires community. It requires healthy pressure. It requires diverse perspectives. And the most relentless part of all, you never truly arrive. There's no magical finish line. No ultimate moment where you get to finally say, I've made it. Growth is a continuous lifestyle. It's a fundamental mindset. It's a daily, unwavering decision to show up, to stretch yourself, to dig deeper, to push further. And you do it without needing applause, without needing external recognition. Because you're not doing it for the crowd. You're doing it for the incredible person you are meticulously becoming. You're doing it because you made a sacred promise to yourself to never, ever settle for less than your full potential. So, every day, ask yourself, did I get better today? Did I stay true to who I am at my core? Did I make choices that profoundly align with my values, even when no one was watching? That's how you truly measure progress. Not by trophies or titles, but by the strength of your daily habits and the crystal clarity of your conscience. This is not just a season. It's not a fleeting trend. This is how genuinely high performers live, with unwavering discipline, with fierce urgency, and with unassailable integrity. They don't simply wait for growth to happen to them. They pursue it relentlessly. And they protect their character like it's sacred, because it truly is. That's how you win. That's how you lead. That's how you build a legacy that actually matters. Relentless pursuit. Grounded in integrity. Every single day. No exceptions. The call to action. Lead your life at the end of the day. It's remarkably simple. You either lead your life, or your life leads you. You either rise every morning with clear purpose and unwavering direction, or you passively let the world dictate who you are and how you show up. There is no convenient middle ground. If you genuinely want to become someone extraordinary, someone unshakable, someone who commands their space and lives with an undeniable fire, it all starts with the decisive choice to do the hard work every single day. No excuses, no distractions, no waiting for permission from anyone. You diligently work on your discipline because it meticulously builds your unshakable foundation. You rigorously sharpen your words because they profoundly shape your reality. You master your emotions because true leadership demands it. You tirelessly train your body because weakness is simply not an option for your potential. You relentlessly pursue growth because comfort is a deceptive liar that will hold you back. And through it all, you fiercely hold the line with unwavering integrity. Because if you lose that, you ultimately lose everything that truly matters. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistently present. It's about showing up, especially when it's incredibly hard. It's about proving to yourself, through consistent, undeniable action, that you're not here to simply coast through life. You're here to dominate your potential. You're here to lead. You're here to evolve into the kind of person who inspires, protects, and positively impacts everything they touch. So, if you take one profound thing from this, let it be this: you are fundamentally responsible for who you become. Not your past, not your pain, not your circumstances. You choose to make your standards non-negotiable. You choose to make your mindset bulletproof. And you never, ever stop becoming the highest version of yourself. The world doesn't need more people who simply wish for greatness. It desperately needs people who tirelessly train for it.